Oil very black. Not good. Light. Blinking. Not work. No good. No, yeah. Tick. Tok. No, not work. Yeah. Okay. Oh, not good. Fail. Okay. Thailand club. 360. So 160 200. Okay. What? I don't know. You tell me, maybe someone that speak Thai understand. Fan like wind.
แฟนที่มาด้วยไปไหนครับแฟนที่มาด้วยไปไหนครับ
Map to go offline. Right? Map?
No. แฟนที่มาด้วยไปไหนครับ
Fans come with me. People watch YouTube. Oh, if someone comes, you mean friend? Friend. I think fan. My girlfriend working. Yes.
คนรัก
Yes, lover. Yes. Girlfriend working. What's it? Tamnam.
ทำงาน
Tamngan. Yeah, Tamnam working na. Yes.
working
Girlfriend working. Lover. Tamnan.
Love.
Yeah. Okay.
วันนี้ยูไม่ทำงานเหรอ
This is not working. She working.
ยูอะ
Me not working today. No. Yes, I make video.
วันนี้หยุด
Huh?
วันนี้หยุด
Oh, you close? You?
No.
Me? Yes, I closed today. No teaching English today. Okay. Hey, see you later. Bye.
บ๊ายบาย
What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Discuss Asia Live. Today is completely unplanned. I had no plans to make a video, but I was just getting some of my chores done. I decided to just go out and have some lunch because I was feeling hungry, and I realized, oh yeah, I forgot, I gotta fix the blinker on my motorcycle and get my oil changed. And Maya doesn't really like going to get the oil change and stuff like that because sometimes we're out there by the road for too long and she gets tired. And while I'm getting this oil changed, what I was thinking about is some of the questions that I had on YouTube. And this isn't the most asked question, but it is one of the more frequently asked questions. The most asked question is, how bad is the air quality in Bangkok? And I've been thinking about how to address that issue, but I'm not ready to do that yet. But this is the question that I'll address today. Do you need to speak Thai to live in Bangkok? Or some of them also ask, do you need to speak Thai to live in Thailand? Those are two completely different questions. I will go ahead and address if you need to know Thai to live in Bangkok. Now, this isn't a question that I want to just give you a yes or no answer to because it's gonna attract so many trolls. I can already see it coming. But this really just depends on what you want from your experience living out here in Thailand. I don't think I'm gonna advise anybody not to learn the local language of the country you're staying in. If at all possible, you should definitely learn the local language of the host country because for many reasons, it's gonna maximize your experience out here. So that is a no-brainer. Yes, you should learn Thai if you're out here, but you know, let's say you're constrained for time or you have other priorities. I mean, can you still get by just your daily life routines without speaking Thai in Bangkok? And to that question, I can tell you that I've really not encountered too many issues not being fluent in Thai. Now, as you saw from the video before, I still know a couple of Thai words, the basic phrases that will get me by. And I think I'll do a more professional, like planned out vlog for, you know, the top phrases you should know if you're planning to visit here or live here, like the first phrases. But, you know, just basically speaking, I know how to tell a taxi directions to go straight, left, right. I know how to ask how much something is. I know how to count. And counting was actually second nature to me because the way that Thais count, it's actually very similar to the way that Koreans count. If you ask a Thai person that though, they will not say the same thing though, because something about the language here is that Thai is a tonal language. And a lot of you guys know what that means, but for those of you who don't, it basically means that the tone that you make with the sound actually changes the meaning of a word. And to some degree, English is like that too, just like, you know, like I could say like, what's up? Or what's up? You know, that's like two separate meanings. But in Thai, it'll completely change the definition depending on the tone you speak in. And this is like a really hard concept for people that, you know, grew up. I mean, even Korean, even though it's an Asian language, it's not a tonal language. So Japanese and Korean, it's not tonal. So this was like a complete foreign concept to me. Everything to me is just, it's just the consonants and the vowels, whatever sound that makes, that's the definition. So I think that's probably what discouraged me the most from pursuing learning Thai to be fluent in it, because when I first came here, I tried to learn it and I was just so bad with the tones. And I remember one of my ex-girlfriends teaching me, you know, how to say ma in different ways, and she would go ma 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 ma, and she would say that means completely separate things, and you know, I couldn't grasp it. And the only way I think you can really learn Thai is well, you probably could just pick it up. Actually, I know a lot of people just picking it up, but if you want to properly learn it, I personally think you should at least take like an introductory course to like the different tones and understand that before you start learning the vocabulary. Otherwise, you'll be pronouncing it completely off like I am. Because I pronounce Thai almost like in a Western way. So I focus on the consonants and the vowels. And this will come quite apparent to you when you're out here and you're trying to communicate. But as far as why do I think you don't necessarily need to speak Thai to just get by and do your daily activities? There's a couple reasons I think that. And first, be aware, this is just my opinion, so you're completely free to have another opinion. And be aware of my background. I am thinking of things relative to my life, you know, being in California and being Korean American, so speaking Korean and being in Korea, and also having lived in Africa for a bit. But relative to those locations that I've lived in, there's a couple reasons why I think Bangkok is very accepting of you not knowing the local language. First of all, Bangkok, I believe, don't quote me, but I'm almost certain, it is the most visited city in the world. So it is not such a foreign, like, third world country as people would think. Now, there's a lot of people that will say that this isn't the real Thailand, and for good reasons too, because Bangkok is not like anywhere else in Thailand, not like any of the other videos you'll see covering Thailand anywhere else but Bangkok. So Bangkok is quite different. It's very cosmopolitan. you have tons of foreigners here. Every business has to cater to an English-speaking foreigner for them to be successful. So, oh gosh, it's really dark. Okay. So, like all the businesses that you'll deal with, restaurants, shops, etc., they'll have signages in both English and Thai. And now it's almost to a point where they're also even incorporating Chinese. So, I mean, I'm not Chinese, but I think you can literally get by in this country without even knowing English or Thai. You could probably get by just knowing Chinese, because there's a lot of locals that are ethnically Chinese. So a lot of them speak Chinese as well. But yeah, definitely English is a very convenient language to speak. And all the businesses, because even like customer service, like I buy like a air conditioner. They're gonna have, I bought Samsung, so they have actually Korean and English customer service. And my aunt told me, you know, she likes to use Samsung because she can talk in Korean to customer service, and she thinks they treat her better. So in the beginning, I try to use Korean to get customer service when I need to fix something with the AC, and I found that it was a lot more convenient and they were more responsive when I was speaking English. So, you know, she doesn't know that because she only is very fluent in Korean and she speaks a little bit of Thai. Actually, she's relatively fluent in Thai. But even if you ask her, she will say that I probably experience much more of Thailand and do a lot of things that she could never do because her English isn't fluent. So, I mean, picture that, right? She speaks relatively good Thai. I mean, she could have a conversation in Thai, but she's not the best, right? But she's lived out here for about 4 or 5 years, so she speaks a bit of Thai. But to really get like things done, she could never imagine like all the things that I do by myself with English. So Bangkok is very accommodating to English. That's basically the point that I'm speaking of there, because when you start getting into like technical things, like let's say you go to immigration office or whatever and you want to speak in some technical language about something technical, it's one thing to know conversation Thai, but it's another thing to know technical Thai. So you're gonna end up speaking English a lot of the times, and Thai's incorporated a lot of the English words anyways for some of the technical things. So like, you know, Mayu is relatively fluent in Thai. I mean, you can vouch for her, like you can listen to her and you see that she's relatively fluent. You know, a lot of Thais are surprised that she's so good. But when it comes to something technical, she doesn't even want to do it. She just tells me to speak in English and deal with it myself, because it's really hard for her to, you know, speak in technical terms. That's not something that she's aware of. And one thing I can say about the Thai language is that it's relatively an easy language to pick up to talk in a conversation, because I mean, although I don't know how to speak Thai really well, one thing I do know, because I teach English, are like the grammatical differences between Thai and English. And you know, if after teaching Thai students a while and understanding why they say certain things and have a habit of saying certain things, then you sort of realize how simple Thai is. I mean, Thai doesn't have tenses, which was a foreign concept to me, because the only two languages I know are Korean and English. And even Korean and English have past tense, future tense, you know, they have tenses. So I always thought every language will have a tense, right? But no, in Thai, you don't have past tense, future tense, you don't have perfect tenses, and basically, they just basically used like the time. Like let's say I'm gonna say, let's go to, oh, let's say I'll say I will go to the park. You know, in Thai, the way you would say that, for example, if you literally translated it, would be something like, I will go park tomorrow. No! Right? So as long as you pick up the meaningful, useful vocabulary, it's relatively easy to piece it together and make sense out of it. There's not much grammar involved. So in that sense, it's relatively easy to pick up Thai and speak Thai in a conversation sense. But from what I've heard, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I used to have an ex-girlfriend who was a flight attendant. And I also had a friend who was a TV like news anchor, and what she tells me is that there is a completely different like Thai that like they used to speak in the old days, that you speak only to the king, etc. And if you want to start getting very technical, it's really, really, really difficult. So she says even most Thais don't even speak that or know it. So I remember like one of my other girlfriends, I was asking her, hey, you should teach me some words, I want to learn Thai. And she'd say, you shouldn't learn from me because I don't speak good Thai. And this was like a university student. So I mean, I guess it's possible to not really speak really, really great Thai, like and I completely relate to that because I can speak Korean perfectly as far as conversation wise, but when I start watching a news show, because I don't know, I think Asian languages, Asian cultures, they want to use complex words and grammar to make themselves sound more knowledgeable, per se. I mean, this is a completely different concept to what I'm used to as an American. I think even to some degree, the British like to do that too. They pride themselves in using very complex grammar, using, you know, those complex tenses like perfect tenses, etc. But I mean, as an American, I know when I went to business school and I was taking business writing, the thing that my teacher taught me was to forget everything I learned in high school, because, you know, what Charles Dickens writes, the literary English is not the type of English you should speak in business. You know, you're communicating with clients, you want to be personal to them, you want to be efficient. So I want you to only use, you know, basically simple tenses in this class, or continuous tenses to show that you're showing action, or you're a man of action. So I mean, these kind of cultural differences are something that I notice while I'm out here. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, that's what I hear. That some of the Thais speak a very complex type of Thai that you'll never pick up. And when it gets technical, it seems to get very technical and hard to pick up. So that's why the point is, to some degree, you're gonna be able to get by with English, because it's a country with so many foreigners that caters to foreigners, because I think like the second or the first largest like GDP is from tourism after manufacturing, or vice versa. So English is something that Thailand is always gonna try to accommodate for most people, and that's why you could relatively get by. Now, the reason I thought about this, why, you know, the English issue with me going to the oil, getting my oil done, changed, is that that is probably the most like difficult thing I have to do as far as doing something that is very local. So the reason I actually found out about this guy was after I bought my motorcycle, I actually went to a Honda shop, like a dealer, that the guy that was selling me the Honda Click was, you know, going to. And I remember, you know, I just wanted to play it safe and go to like a reputable dealer and get my oil changed and all my maintenance done. Unfortunately, they didn't do a good job. They screwed up my brakes, and like the brake literally, my front brakes literally fell off because they pretty much screwed a bolt where it you know, that it did this thing where the threads, it got oh man, I can't think of the word, but the threads basically it disappeared. So I had to, and it was like a custom. He used a custom suspension, so the particular bolt, you couldn't really get it at a dealer. And what ended up happening was that, together with a flat tire, made me just drive near. It was near my condo, so I was just pushing my motorcycle to a place that I saw, dealt with repairs, and I found that mechanic, luckily. And he is very local, as you can see. It's just a very local shop, but he was very, very helpful. And when you start trying to fix a motorcycle, that's when you get into a bit of technical stuff, technical stuff that even Mayu cannot even translate. But as you saw, I'm able to sort of use body language, and together with a little bit of the English he knows, we're able to communicate and get things done. It might be a little bit inconvenient, but to me, it's actually very enjoyable. I have fun, playing charades with this guy, and I pick up a little bit of Thai from him. I know what namandam means, which is change oil, right? Or maybe it's just oil, and I just say oil, and he knows, right? So these if you don't really need to have perfect Thai to even do things like change oil with somebody who doesn't speak English. And another thing I want to say, though, is that even though maybe your average Thai doesn't speak English fluently, when I compare it to a country such as let's say Korea or even Vietnam, and I'm even talking about cities, let's say capital cities like Seoul or Ho Chi Minh. My experience is that, when I'm in Korea, their level of, the way that they teach English is very, very hard, it's very focused on in the Korean curriculum, right? For many reasons. I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, basically historical connection with the US, your biggest trading partner, etc., etc. English is almost as critical as math in Korea. So you have a younger generation that knows relatively, how to speak in English, basic phrases and stuff, right? But in Thailand, English is very important, but I would say the level of English, it's well known that it's not up to par with the other Asian countries. Actually, that's why they're dealing with that, because their test scores, and they're trying to increase that, and proficiency in engineering, etc., because other countries like Vietnam are doing better. But that might get you thinking, well, your average Thai isn't going to be able to speak English. But contrary to that thought, what I found is that your average Thai, your mom and pop person running a food stall, right, a street cart vendor, etc., knows more English than, for example, an older lady who's doing the same thing in Seoul, right? Because she never grew up in that education system, right? Because teaching English and focusing on English as part of a curriculum hasn't been around for that long, maybe a couple decades. So your older person who didn't grow up during that time, who's in their 50s or 40s doing a food cart, they don't really speak much English. They really don't speak English at all. They won't even know basic phrases. Whereas your average Thai person, because if they're doing any kind of business out here, they're eventually going to run into some English speaking guy. I'm sorry, I know that's offensive to you English. But yes, Americans speak a whole different, lower degraded form of English. I think you guys understand that too. So whether you speak American or English or Australian or whatever, that form of English is gonna be heard upon by your average Thai. So they'll know some basic words like how much, whereas if you go to Korea, you can't expect your average street cart vendor to know what how much means. They'll be just looking at you blankly. And another thing I noticed is that Koreans are actually they're maybe a little bit more prideful you know? And they expect foreigners who come to get acclimated to their culture and learn their language. So I think like I know this because like when I went to the immigration office there, they had all these programs where they actually will send out a teacher to teach you Korean and stuff like that. And then if you want residency and such, you need to know Korean. Well, actually, I know that I heard that even to get citizenship here, you have to know really good Thai as well. But that's a whole other issue. It's much more difficult to get a citizenship out here. So, I mean, basically the point is, they insist a lot more of the foreigners to actually learn Korean, and they don't go through the trouble of creating certain, like, some of the complex services for to accommodate for English-speaking people. You go to a government office, you can't expect that there's always going to be someone who can speak English. Whereas if you go to a government office here in Bangkok, I'm not saying like Udon Thani or some of the other areas, but if you go to a government office in Bangkok, there is at least going to be one person who speaks English who's going to translate and try to help you out. Whereas in Korea, that's not something you should expect. And I think this is relatively similar in other countries too that I visited. I've noticed that. So Thais, I mean, they're very understanding of foreigners. They're very respectful of the fact that you might not, you know, speak really good Thai, and they just sort of accommodate for you. I mean, there's no like, they don't have like an ego tied to it, you know? That's basically what I'm saying. I think like Koreans got like this ego, like if you're in my country, then you got to speak my language kind of thing. Whereas Thais, it's like, you know, they're like, well, you know, if I can learn English, then I'll learn English. And since we have some people that speak English, we'll create services for, you know, people who speak English and, you know, create jobs. So I think that's why a lot of foreigners like living in Thailand. They're very accommodating to foreigners out here. So that's another reason why I haven't really felt too much of an urge to like be fluent in Thai. Now, I do want to know Thai, don't get me wrong, but you know, just between what I'm doing, just making videos, teaching English, I think I end up learning more English because I have to teach it, you know. So that's what I'm like actually trying to focus on a lot, because some of the nuances that you'll see is that and a lot of the people who live out here will tell you this too, though. There is English that you speak to other English-speaking native speakers, and there is a form of English for Thais. And I touched up briefly on this because you have to accommodate for the way they think, their grammar structure. Because if you start talking with all these prepositions, different kinds of pronouns, then it gets confusing for them. So like there's a couple things I've picked up. For example, they don't have perfect tenses. So for example, instead of, if I said I have been to Thailand or I had lived in America, you know, that means like there was a time before in the past that I lived there. Now, you got to understand, Thais don't have that tense, so they can't change the verb and put a perfect tense. So they do something that will completely blow your mind, but it makes sense if you think about it from their point of view, which is they will say something like, I have ever been to America. I have ever been to Thailand. Now, as a native speaker, we know that that's wrong. We're supposed to use ever for questions only, but they use ever in lieu of perfect tenses. So, like in the beginning, I wasn't teaching English, right? I was just traveling out here, just trying to communicate the best I can, get to know the culture. But I had to sort of communicate. I mean, most of the like people that I was meeting had a relative fluency in Thai, I mean, in English, but they weren't perfect. So I started learning how to speak this Thai version of English. And you know, it's actually quite addictive, and to some degree it makes more sense, like in a scientific manner, than English itself. Like English has so many just random rules that they have. It's not practical, you know. It's just so that you sound proper, basically. And Americans particularly know this because, you know, we have a whole subculture of African Americans creating a better, more efficient, cooler version of English. That's not even American, it's African American. Like, for example, I won't like change the word be and go I am or she is, they are. Like, you know, like I myself try to imitate, to try to, like, you know, act street or cool, and I would say like I be going to the park, or they be hustling, or they be, you know, she be tripping or something, you know. So like Thai is speaking like English to, I think African Americans will have a very easy time communicating with Thais, because they simplify English to a point where it's just the bare necessities, and that's what I end up doing here, so I could easily communicate with Thais. And even Mayu, no matter how many times I tell her, you know, it's she has, not she have, like they will always use have for everything. And then when I keep hearing that, my job is to teach English, and I go and try to teach English, and I sometimes catch myself saying things incorrect, grammatically incorrect. So that's why in my particular situation, I've been actually, I try to really focus on like staying fluent in English, because that's literally my job out here. Now, if it wasn't my job to teach English, I think I would expose myself to a lot more Thai and to the culture, but this is what's literally feeding me. So I hope you can understand, to my Thai viewers, it's not that I'm disrespectful of your culture or anything. It's not that I don't want to learn Thai. It's just that, like, I literally need to work on my English day in, day out, whatever opportunity I have, so that I am teaching proper English to my students. And I don't catch myself saying things like, oh, she have this, or they have this. It's so addicting. Like, after you hear it like that for a while, I mean, it doesn't even sound wrong, you know, like. And that's what us native speakers got over Thais, you know, because technically Thais learn a lot of grammar in school, but we know when something sounds wrong. But when it starts sounding right, then you're in trouble. So that's why, I mean, I myself, I haven't been personally working on my Thai that much, because whatever free time I have, I'm trying to listen to English, like TV shows, etc., so that I'm not losing it out here. But yeah, if you do want to learn Thai, I think it's relatively easy to pick up. But even if you don't, as you can see, with me dealing with something as complex as getting my oil changed, explaining to him my blinkers are dead and that I need to get that fixed, him even asking me where my girlfriend is, which that was pretty hilarious. I thought he was I said I was gonna show him on my video and then recommend that, you know, people who don't know a mechanic around there to go use him, because he's treated me well. I thought he was talking about fan, and then what he meant was friend. So that's other thing. That's some other things you'll pick up in Thai, like Thais don't pronounce R's. So anyways, yeah. Whatever the case, I hope this, I know I sort of went into a lot of tangents with grammar and how the language works out here and culture and etc., but I hope this was a little bit insightful into, you know, using English out here, differences between the language, communicating out here. And actually there's probably a lot more that I could talk about, but my right arm is literally hurting me because I've been holding this phone up, actually, and if I try to do this, I end up covering this area. Okay, actually, you know what, I'm gonna try to do this. But yeah, it's going on to 31 minutes. So I think I'm gonna wrap up for today, because I gotta go back and actually edit my my more cinematic travel vlogs that it's taking a while to do, so I could eventually upload this backlog of the Discuss Asia Live. But whatever the case, oh, by the way, where I am is you might be wondering where I am. This is that's my condo back there. It's literally walking distance. I was gonna originally just do this thing in front of the motorcycle shop, but I decided that's not a good idea because there's so much wind noise and traffic noise. I thought it wouldn't be a good for a discussion, so I just came to the closest place. I mean, you're looking at my face anyways because I'm just talking, so I hope you don't mind. This is a good view, by the way. This place is called Show DC. It's relatively a dead mall, but I mean, it's got a good view. And I'm not inside because they have some kind of event going on, but it's nice. Just you get to experience AC and, you know, see some life. But that's where this is. This is Show DC, by the way, top floor. You can come out here and chill. Get some nice breezes, nice suns. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, please let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely cover the air quality. That's something that's on my definite to-do list because everyone's talking about how horrible the air quality is here. And yeah, I hope I didn't offend anyone with what I'm saying. So just to clarify, if you're in Thailand, you should learn Thai. It'll definitely make your experience a lot better. I really eventually want to be fluent in Thai so that, you know, I can make friends with the locals here and talk in Thai, etc. And oh my gosh, just talking about this made me realize another big aspect of speaking English in Thai that I didn't talk about. Oh, that's another 20 minutes. But I think I should talk about it because this is a question that everyone's gonna have. So you should speak Thai, right? It's gonna really help you. The Thais will respect you a lot more for it if you speak Thai. You're definitely gonna get to places and do things that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. But as far as just, you know, living this routine, your daily life, as you can see, it's relatively easy to do with just English. Now, something I didn't mention that I know a lot of you guys are dying to know is, do you need to know Thai to date a Thai girl? That's probably what a lot of you guys are interested in, but probably afraid to ask. I know, I'm a guy, because okay, that's something that was quite that was something that I wondered myself. You know, do I need to speak the language? Is it better? Am I gonna, like, you know, meet girls that are maybe nicer, more local, better if I speak Thai? Oh, this is gonna be a very contested topic because I can only speak from my experience, and quite frankly, a lot of the experience of other people that have been to Thailand are people who are much older than me, right? So that's a whole different generation. I just discussed that, you know, education standards are a lot different when you get into my age group that I would be dating, roughly, right? Every Thai kid is gonna have some exposure to English. Even the ones out in the country, boony, rural area, wherever, they're gonna have a little bit of English. And if they've grown up in Bangkok, and particularly, you know, the girls that I was dating, because I was using like a dating app, and dating app is quite Western, so only like very westernized girls would be on that app anyways. Okay, you're gonna ask me what it is. I use Tinder. So in that case, I think that you're gonna end up talking to a lot of girls that already know quite a bit of English. So that's the demographics of my dating pool. So be aware that that's my bias. Now, if you're much older, like I don't know how education was in Thailand like 30, 40 years ago, when the girls that some of the older men, the age group they're dating. So you might have to speak Thai to really meet like a normal girl that's basically, I know what you're all thinking, not trained in English in like some go-go bar or something. So unless they're like very, very professional or have like an international, like they own a company that deals with foreigners. I mean, of course you have that, but there's it's obviously going to be a smaller pool of fluently English speaking girls, probably at the older age pool. So let me say that first, and then let me talk to you about my experience in Korea. So a lot of my idea about this comes from Korea, but I don't know. That's the reality that I live in, and I applied it here and it worked. But I remember, as you know, I speak fluent Korean. So when I was in Korea, I didn't know if I should speak to the girls in Korean or if I should speak to them in English, because my Korean isn't all that good. You could eventually tell I'm missing some vocabulary words, and I'm sounding pretty uneducated if I speak in Korean. I can definitely get by though. I even used to do business in Korean in America. I used to deal with like Korean clients at the bank, so my Korean isn't too bad. But if I speak English, then I have no issues, right? And this comes to, oh man, this is gonna get deep. This goes into like attraction theory, but basically if you speak English, then the woman is in a position where she has to accommodate you, right? So she has to chase you. So when I first came out to Asia, I wasn't here. I was in Korea, and I was dating these different girls in Korea, and in Korea, like people my age, they definitely know English. Like you can expect pretty much all of them to speak relatively fluent English, or they will get good at it if you speak to them a month or two or whatever, and they actually will enjoy it, because over there, like, knowing English is a huge difference in like your pay. So everyone wants to learn English over there. And oh, this is perfect lighting. I thought maybe if I spoke Korean, I could be more personable, like be more of a Korean guy. But my experiences there, to sum it up, would be that it's better not to speak in Korean. It's just better to act like you don't know Korean and just speak in English. And this wasn't something that I had the idea of trying to do. It was actually this one girl that I was talking to, and she's like, "Oppa, you know what? You would be so much more attractive if you just acted like you didn't speak Korean." Because okay, at that time I wasn't thinking much about it. I was just thinking, oh, she's just sort of into Westerners, blah blah blah. But I mean, I could go into in-depth analysis, like psychological analysis, as to why that works for many reasons. But that's what she basically said. She's like, "Hey, oppa, if you want to seduce girls here, you should just act like you don't speak Korean." And I'm like, well, that's misleading, because I speak Korean. That's what I said. And she says, "Oppa, you don't know girls." This is what she would say. She says, "You don't know girls. Girls, they don't care if they're lied to." Okay, now, oh my gosh, I might get But basically this is what she said, all right? I'm not saying that that's what it is. This is just my like understanding. I'm just telling you exactly what hurts. Like, well, but girls care less about if you lie to them. What they care more about is that you're attractive and you're interested in them. So she tells me, think about it. I'm like, well, what if she finds out that I actually do speak Korean, right? And then she says, well, at that point, what you should say is, you know, I just wanted to seduce you and look good to you, so I acted like I didn't speak Korean. And if it was me, I would feel more attracted to you. And I'm like, this is not really computing in my head, because if someone did that to me, I would feel misled. So I'm not saying, and I'm not saying this is how all Asian girls are going to be either, or even Korean girls, etc. But, you know, let me tell you something. Like, I gotta give you a little background on my past, but I pretty much have the worst luck with women before I came out to Asia. Like, whatever decision I made, whatever ideal that I had as far as this is how you should treat a woman to, you know, get this kind of result, like, it never worked out, you know? So I came out to Asia with no like motive to like get married or date a girl, or like, you know, I just wanted to make friends, and I just wanted to keep an open mind and maybe try dating in a different way than I have been before, or just act maybe a little different, and then see if I have better luck with the girls, basically. So at that point, I wasn't gonna really question too much of the morals. I mean, it's like, am I really hurting someone by pretending that I don't speak Korean? You know, it's like a nice little funny ruse anyways. Let me see if this works. And I'm not gonna say that this is what you should do, or that this is what the majority of Asians are, blah, 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 but to me, I actually had quite a bit of success, you know? Having girls, having them like be more attracted to me. And I think what it is it's attraction theory. Basically, you're making them chase you. So I see a lot of the guys that speak Thai, they're basically trying to accommodate for the girl, right? And it's not a new experience for them, for you to speak Thai and try to relate to them in a Thai way. I mean, if anything, it's just a worse version of what they could get with like a local Thai guy or a local Korean man. I mean, it's something that they've experienced before. So I think that's what it is. I think it's like when you're dating, like, girls want like a new experience. And if they're Thai or Korean or whatever, there's gonna be, I'm not saying majority or whatever, there's gonna be though, a large majority of girls, I mean a large amount of girls that may be interested in having a different experience and dating a guy who just speaks English, you know? And it's like an exciting new thing for them. And then it basically shifts the dynamics of attraction theory. So like, they're chasing you, they're trying to accommodate you, you know? So like, I think that's why I had more success dating girls, and just dating girls who try to speak English, you know, and try to be accepting of my culture more than I am of theirs. You know, it sounds messed up, but you know, just take it as it is. But it's not that I'm saying that I don't want to respect the local culture here or whatever. If you see me and Mayu, like I probably, like you can see in my videos, I really like Japanese things more than maybe even Korean things sometimes. So yeah, I'm not like a guy who's saying, you know, like you should be like, you know, just insisting on your culture and not try to change out here, because that's exactly the opposite of what I want to say. You should actually try to have an open mind and be open to everything. But me being open to concepts sort of led me down this path where I was dating girls, and I was speaking mainly English with them. And I didn't like have, like, because because when I'm here, I met a couple Korean guys too, and Koreans that are living out in Thailand tend to speak Thai better than English. So I remember the first couple times I would go out, you know, to the clubs and party with them and whatever, and me not speaking Thai fluently like them didn't necessarily not make me any less popular with the women, basically. So, I mean, I'm not making any points here as to whether you should not or should speak in Thai or learn Thai to communicate with your girlfriend, but just speaking purely on my experience of dating Thai girls and speaking really not much Thai, I didn't have too much of an issue, right? So I think that's, a lot of the guys are gonna be interested in that. Do you need to know Thai to like really meet a local girl who's like a normal, nice local girl? No, I wouldn't necessarily say that if you're around my age group, because there's plenty of girls who speak relatively fluent Thai, and you know, fluent English, and I recommend you date someone who does speak a little bit of English, because it's just so much more easier to communicate. You know, there's some feelings that you want to maybe express in English that you really can't in Thai. And I'm not saying you shouldn't learn Thai, because that's how I learned Thai from like the girls that I was dating. They would like teach me some words and then I'd pick it up as I go. But it was just a lot more convenient for me to know someone who spoke English, so that I can ask, oh, what does this mean? You know, and then they would know exactly how to tell me how to say that in Thai. You know, describe the nuances in the grammar, etc. So I didn't have too much of a problem. So that's just my experience. I'm not saying this is going to be the same experience for everybody, or people who are older than me, maybe much younger than me. But that's been my experience dating out here and not speaking fluent Thai. But I definitely, trust me, I definitely did learn. I mean, you do learn some Thai phrases, and you know, saying things in Thai, or just, you know, some girls get annoyed with this, but a lot of girls like, you know, when you like put na at the end of everything. I'll say something in English and add na. You know, it's just every girl is different, so I can't say that you should always do this or that, but I mean, I haven't had any issues meeting girls not speaking fluent Thai. So that's the only point I'm trying to make. So yeah, this is a very tricky subject, because there's gonna be so many differences of opinion. But again, guys, I'm just giving you my experience. My experience not being fluent in Thai and still getting by here in Bangkok. And it's not to my credit at all, but I pretty much give it to the credit of how open-minded and welcoming Thai people are in general of English-speaking foreigners. You know, they're very accommodating to us. They have all the services in English. All the movies you'll see in Thai also have English subtitles. There's really not much of a difficulty living out here not knowing Thai, to a degree where, you know, I should probably know Thai by now, like fluently speak, but I don't. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, eventually I will get to it. Hopefully I can find more time, or you know, get into a situation where I could get more fluent in Thai and know it as much as even Mayu. Maybe eventually start working with Thai coworkers or something, find a different job, but for now I'm just getting by, and I'm getting by with English and some basic Thai phrases, which I could probably teach you in less time than I made in this video. Next time I'll make eventually I'll make a video of the top phrases you need to know in Thai. So yeah, whatever the case, I hope this was informative. it's definitely not like some ultimate kind of wisdom I'm trying to teach you out here. It's just, I'm just sharing my experience because there's plenty of other resources that will talk about this and talk about it better, but just doing it mainly for the people who are interested in my perspective. I hope you appreciate it, and subscribe if you haven't, and yeah, let me know what you think about this video. Yeah, I mean, I sort of feel bad now because it almost makes it sound like I'm saying you don't need to learn Thai, but that's really not the case, you know. I'm just saying that I've gotten by without Thai, and it's been relatively okay so far for me, and I really appreciate all the Thai people that have been accommodating to me, have been friendly to me, even though, you know, I'm not that great in Thai, and I can only be authentic and true about, you know, sharing my experiences, which is I'm this sorry guy that's been living out here for a couple of years and I don't even speak fluent Thai. So whatever the case, yeah, go at it, give me your honest opinion, and I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll see you guys next week for more about living and traveling in Asia. Thanks again, guys, for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed my insights into my own experiences here. And I'm fully aware that this video may even raise more questions than it answered, but that is the reason why I was reluctant to really touch upon these subjects in like a very short 10-minute video, because these kinds of answers that you deserve to the questions that you frequently ask me deserve more than a yes or no answer, because there are just so many aspects to the culture, and even I myself, I'm still in the process of discovering Thailand. There's just so much to it, and there's just so many differences with all the different kinds of races and ethnicities, even amongst Thais, the different regions, that, you know, there's really no one answer to everything. And anyone who claims that there is just a simple yes or no answer to any of the questions that you ask me, I think would be misleading you. Ultimately, I just want you to take this as a small piece of food for thought amongst many of the other opinions out there. And I encourage you, if you are interested in Thailand, make a plan to come out here and travel, not only just to Thailand, to other countries, to get a different perspective from the place you're living at and your misconceptions or biases, and discover for yourself if what I'm saying is true or it applies to you relative to your experience or situation you're in. Whatever the case, I will be back next week for more discussion videos. I will continue on Saturday with my travel videos, and I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll see you next week for more vlogs about living and traveling in Asia. Alright, so for the last segment of my video, I always do this. This is gonna be about $2 here. Okay, so this is called the Living Room Cafe. Basically, it's the little cafe that's right below my condo. I like to come here because, like the name states, it's sort of a no-frills place, and I'm just having dessert because I already had lunch before I shot this video. This is like my favorite. It's 70 baht, so it is basically $2. Comes with like a little waffle and ice cream. I like this Hokkaido ice cream. So I think it really is homemade. But these kinds of restaurants are very typical in condos. As you can see, this is like one of my more favorite ones here because I'm Korean. Rice and Korean style pork, 65 baht. It's less than $2. So yeah, I mean, they have a lot of foods. Thai. They even have like another dish that I really like. It's Japanese tonkatsu curry. That's only about $2 too, but yeah, basically not everything out here is like amazing. Sometimes it's just convenient and easy to eat and affordable. So yeah, I mean, when I'm not really doing those travel vlogs, cinematic vlogs, this is the kind of stuff I usually have on a daily basis. It's easy, simple, convenient. So, yep, This is a pretty typical place for Bangkok. Yeah, but I particularly like this one at my condo though. I mean, maybe because my condo is a newer condo. And it's a condo more for the masses. So that's why the food is gonna be a little bit more affordable than if you were to like live in a luxury condo. So that's something you have to really consider. I mean, that's one of the reasons that you don't want to live in a luxury condo. If you're living in a luxury condo, you better be able to afford that luxury lifestyle, meaning you don't mind just sort of blowing money away, because things are going to be catered for that crowd. But for like a commoner like me, $2 for this little ice cream or katsu rice or Korean barbecue beef, you know. If you're in the RCA area, I don't think you need to be a resident. You can actually come here and eat. Yeah, so living room cafe.